welcome to this new video for my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Carolera, and today I'm going to be talking about, in a spoiler-free way, a book that's called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It was written by George R.R. Martin, it was published in 2015, and it was illustrated by Jerry Gianni. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms consists of 3 short novels which Martin has been coming up with since the late 90s. Their titles are The Hedge Knight, The Sworn Sword, and The Mystery Knight. And A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, in a way, serves as a prequel to the stories presented in the series A Song of Ice and Fire, also known as Game of Thrones, because it's set in the same fantasy world around 100 years before the events presented in Ice and Fire / GOT. I've been a fan of A Song of Ice and Fire since 2011. I love the books. I've read them countless times. Here they are. I only liked this show until season 4. Through the years, I've been quite active in the Sansons fandom, which is an online community that ships Sandor Clegane and Sansa Stark together romantically. I even asked George R.R. Martin about them at a press conference. You can find the video on my channel. And I've also reviewed here the Song of Ice and Fire books, the show. But yes, anyways, moving on. I bought the book online, but then just as I bought it, I was traveling through Canada at the moment, and I went to all of these public libraries and I started to stumble upon the book. So I actually ended up reading it through different copies that I found in Montreal and Quebec and Hamilton. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms are basically 3 tales about Dunk and Nick. Dunk, also known as Sir Duncan the Tall, starts the book as a young hedge knight hoping to win a tourney so that he can start his career as a knight. Along the way, he meets up with Egg, a young boy who attaches to him and becomes his squire. Dunk and Egg go into the world and encounter many adventures, some of which are shown in the second and third short novels in this book. The second one is the one that has the vibe of being a hedge knight and going on this adventure, and the third one is more politically detailed, and it has a lot of important characters that we've heard about from the Game of Thrones series appearing, and yet the second one is more like isolated. It's just about this problem they Dunk and Egg encounter. I gave A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms a 5 out of 5 stars review. I can't believe it took me 3 years to read it. Highly recommended to anyone who likes Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, stories about knights and their squires going on adventures. Captured my attention right from the start. It has the same charm and humor of A Song of Ice and Fire. And if you're into the Targaryens, you're gonna love this one, because we actually get to see Westeros at a time where there was a Targaryen on the throne. And it was also really interesting because in Game of Thrones, winter is coming. We have and yet 100 years before, it was spring and summer, so we get to see the Seven Kingdoms during these seasons. But yes, getting back to the Targaryens, they're all fascinating. I never really paid them that much attention before, but now I'm quite interested in Bloodraven's history. I kind of understand a bit better all the whole Bitter Steel going into exile, who the Great Bastards were, the whole Targaryens against Bastard Targaryens. It's also really cool to see places that we haven't actually seen in the main series, but we visit them here. But as to Dunk and Egg, the protagonist, I love them. They're such a magnificent duo. I kind of see why George R.R. Martin was intrigued by these 2 very different people and wanted to throw them in together into all of these adventures. And yes, my respect for George R.R. Martin as a writer. This storyteller, it grew even more than it already was. And apparently, doesn't matter at what age of Westeros and Essos he's writing about. It's all interesting and cool and fascinating. And well, yeah, because I love spoilers, went ahead and read what happened to many of the characters we get to meet along the way. And it's all pretty fascinating, and it just makes me want to read more and more. Anyways, the book's epilogue tells us to keep an eye out because there may be more tales of Dunk and Egg someday. But at this moment, all I want to see published by George R.R. Martin is The Winds of Winter, the next book of A Song of Ice and Fire series. But yes, I believe this is all I have to say about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms for the moment. Thank you very much for watching my review of it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that you did. Please let me know if you did or didn't. What are your own thoughts about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, about Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, George R.R. Martin, anything related to this world? I'd love to talk about it all with you. In the description box below, you can find a link to the Goodreads page for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, as well as a link to my review of Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm Carolera, the Mental Traveler, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye.